even though it's now 2019, we're realizing that because of these big shifts, the ways in which we've experienced curriculum resources and science materials for the classroom, those have to catch up and shift. And we're not seeing a lot of those materials hit classrooms yet.
Having high quality instructional materials is very important now, because there's a lot to designing these rich storylines that students are figuring out phenomena. And so it'll take time, it'll take a lot of PD, and but it's worth it.
The big question with this shift to three-dimensional learning and teaching is, where do you find the content? Where do you find the curriculum? And that is probably the biggest problem we have, is because we only have, at least in the middle school, there's only really one curriculum that is superior. And so, we are working as a state to create a location where we can share one another's lessons. For instance, the lesson that I'm doing right now was done by a teacher in Lincoln, and it's being shared now in Harvard, Nebraska.
There's a lot of great content that we found out there that's free for anybody to have access to. And we didn't see a way that we were going to go away from that if we were to purchase something. So we made the decision that we could really take that content and develop our own model based upon what was already available to us. And it's worked well for us. We had the right resources in place to be able to do that. And so far, so good.
It was tough because we knew that we had non-negotiables, that this resource had to be implementing the 3 dimensions. Students had to be figuring out phenomena, and they had to engage in these storylines. And really, there wasn't a lot out there that fit all those criteria. And we so very fortunately found a very high quality instructional resource that in fact, of all the middle school resources that were reviewed by EdReports, this resource is the only one that scored greens or met the criteria in all areas.
But the materials we're starting to see are so exciting because they have students engaged in relevant, real-world, authentic experiences where all students are able to engage in the materials, are able to think scientifically. The classroom cultures are shifting, so it's less about independent work or even assigned team roles in the way we used to see it, but it's truly about developing these spaces where it's a scientific community of collaboration, where the voices are all shared and heard and valued, and that the class is engaged in figuring things out together.